Alright, welcome back. So, in the last episode, we were in the caves, and now we are in the city of something something. Uh, Starts with a T. Let's see here. Let's check. Tomb Raider. It's like, or no, it starts with a V, my bad. Bill Kabamba? Bill Kabamba, maybe? I don't know. But anyways, as soon as you enter the area, there's going to be about four wolves after you. So be careful. And then there are pockets of bats hidden throughout the place. So just be on guard. This game this game is definitely a trial by error type of game. Um, you're really not going to know um, what's coming at you until you've gone through it once, at least. And that's obviously very um, true for the enemies, but like the traps in particular tend to come out of nowhere a lot of times, which you know it's a early PS1 game. That's how they lengthen the time. um so there's not a whole lot around here. I'm just trying to kill all the enemies before I really go secret hunting. So the main thing that you should do is try and kill all the enemies first. I think there's two areas of note in here, and it's the sort of stable, I guess. I think that's what the developers were kind of going for. Yes, there are some more wolves down through here. Uh, just be careful. Obviously, keep your since this is mostly like flat area, you can kind of keep your guns drawn at all times just to ensure that you're safe. Also, I love how well lit this ancient ruin underground in a cave is. Because there's obviously it probably would have been too much work to try and put in torches, but I hate when enemies show up in the middle tight corridors like that. Thankfully, I think that one was mostly dead. And I believe there's a small med pack back here to at least, uh, give you a little reward. Don't be afraid to use med packs if you feel like you need them. I obviously don't go too heavy on them because you do have a limited number throughout the game. Um, and it's largely dependent on if you find them. I believe Laura does start off with a couple of med packs, either small or maybe like one large and a small or two, but it's not a lot, so you do have to kind of rely on finding them throughout the game. And obviously, the game does throw you a bone every once in a while with relatively easy ones to find. Uh, but as you go on, they do tend to become a little harder to find, and you can find a lot when you look for secrets. All right, so don't, yeah. As soon as you enter this room, either jump up there or like turn around and get ready to fight because a bear just shows up out of nowhere. And The game really loves doing that sometimes, where it will just throw an enemy at you when you enter an area, and you won't, it's usually behind you or from, it comes from like a hallway or something. But yeah, it's not the most fair, especially when it shows up right behind you like that. But what are you gonna do? Alright, so that's the most notable thing there. And the other major part of this area, or this part of the area, is this, the little water tunnel. So be mindful of how much area you have, especially once you head up here, because there's no like air pocket for you to kind of uh to surface at. The other way, we definitely don't need to go this way just yet. There's nothing in here other than it's just a room, an empty room right now. I believe there is a door in here that we need to open a switch for. So one of the corners has a door in it, or I think it's that right there. But we need to go to the underwater room in order to actually open it. You're more than likely only going to have enough air to get one of these levers before you start running out. So I'd recommend going for this one first, which is on the right side of the room as you're coming up out of the tunnel, because this one does have an air pocket right above it, and is one of the secrets. Not a very big secret. I think it's just a medipack and maybe like a thing of bullets somewhere, maybe. Oh, and the lever, obviously. Yeah, I love the old PS1. Like they they don't actually have like 3D models for vases and stuff. They just use like a little JPEG image or something, just so they and just have it turn as Lara turns. All right. So the other thing is on the opposite corner. So not there, but in the other corner from here. And I don't know. I've kind of gone back and forth on the water or the swimming controls in this game. Like they're not awful. They're definitely not the worst swimming controls in a video game, but I don't know. So the way you swim is kind of like how you would fly an airplane in a game, or yeah, in a game. Like if you were using a D-pad specifically. So if you hit up, Laura's going to like face down, and vice versa. And you have to use what is the jump button when you're above land to swim. Otherwise, she just kind of stays in place. Definitely not a Tomb Raider game with without any uh swimming sections. Although to be fair, I think it's Tomb Raider 2013 doesn't have any swimming parts, which I think the developers purposefully left out. They didn't want to do swimming just yet in the game, or in that series at least. So I couldn't remember if any enemies showed up in here after you'd opened the door. I don't believe any do. So you're probably safe to just walk out of the pool or get out of the pool. Alright, this is the second secret. So this isn't progression, although, secrets are always good. Being able to get more resources makes the game, in the later parts of the game, a little easier, especially having a lot more health packets, or med packets, medipacks. Put on some sunscreen earlier because it was really sunny out today, and I still smell like sunscreen even after several hours. Alright. So we still need the key. Now, I'm trying to remember. That's right. We opened up this door earlier. Not this door. Um, where is it? Almost like I haven't played this game in played this part at least in a few days, so I don't remember everything that that I had to do. So there's another switch across the corner from that door that'll open. I don't believe there's anything actually in here, or any like enemies at least, other than maybe bats. Although that might be later on. This is still me like getting used to the controls again, because again, this game's kind of difficult to get back into, especially if you didn't like if you weren't used to these controls to begin with. So you can make it easier on yourself by using those breakaway platforms, but this one is really not that difficult to get to without them. So all you have to do is pull this block out and then just get up here. Damn it, Laura. Again, me trying to get used to the controls. It does get better, I promise. Get a little more used to the controls, because you kind of have to. If you don't get used to the controls, you're going to die a lot. Just from, like, misstepping. Especially with jumps. Jumps in particular, you need to, like, you have to remember how to do proper jumps. Alright, so I'm pulling it out, but I'm pulling the block when I should be pushing it. Um, and we'll see as to why here in a second. Because, or in maybe a minute. Because we need to use that block to get up there. Bats are always the most annoying that just hit, because especially when they're like right above you. You can't. Laura can't aim up. All right, so there's two items of interest right here. We have the key, which we need to progress into the sort of next area, and the golden idol, which we need to, I believe, get out of this level. So again, this is why I said you need to like push the block or pull it from this side. Either one, honestly, it's not that big of a deal. As long as you don't like go pushing it everywhere, because it's kind of obnoxious how long it takes Laura to pull the block one square. This is when you need like the speed up feature. But unfortunately, I'm playing this on the original PS1 version. So speed ups are not an option. It's not an emulator. This is like the real deal. Alright. So you should only need it out like one tile. That should be good. No, Lord damn it. So what happened there was I hit the action button because I wanted Laura to like jump up onto the block, but unfortunately that doesn't quite work. Cause that's the one weird thing with blocks. Like normally you can just tell Laura to like jump by holding action button and the forward button, and that will just work. But since it's a block, Laura instead pushes it. Yeah, you can tell that this is either the PS1 or the Saturn version because of those save crystals. Alright. There is one goodie here. It's a large medipack. It's really hard to see, especially in this video. Because of how dark it is right there. Alright. So now that we have the key, we can actually go ahead and leave this little area and move on to the next. Now this isn't, I'm saying like area as in still part of the same level, because there's still a bit that we have to do. Yeah, that's what I wanted to be careful of. So this is a special controller combination that you can do. I believe, and it's not perfect because, yeah, you need to hold down like the walk button. You need to hold down the walk, forward, and jump all at the same time. And you'll essentially do a little tumble. I believe you can also do that to do like a swan dive. It does, I think it helps break her fall. Damn wolves. Yeah, I need to use a medipack. So a large medipack will heal you fully. So if you want to use one of those, you should really wait until you're really close to death. That way you get as much bang for your buck. Small medipacks heal you halfway. I will say probably about 50% of the enemies in this game you can usually kill from a safe spot. since most of them can't uh most of them don't fire projectiles. They're mostly melee enemies. There are a few, obviously, especially later on in the game. And certain bosses. Bosses in quotes. Damn it, Laura. It's me trying to jump and accidentally hitting the action button instead. I I don't think it really matters where you are, like on like the x-axis, I guess. If Laura is like facing in the y axis, and her left and right are the x axis, I don't think it really matters like if you're right up against a wall or not, but I personally don't like being right up against a wall or being on the very edge, cuz I don't know. Maybe it's like if like I accidentally hit like the left or the right button just a little, it could cause Laura to swerve left or right and either hit the wall or just jump off entirely, and that's just something that I'd like to avoid whenever possible. you know? So, being closer to the center means that even if I accidentally go in one of the directions, at least I might still land where I want to land instead of hitting the wall and falling, or just straight up whiffing the jump and falling off. Now, I don't think just jumping off here would kill you, but it would definitely hurt. Specifically onto this rock ledge down here. If you tried doing that onto the bottom of the floor, it would probably kill you, or at least hurt significantly. I know it looks like you can make that jump over there, but you cannot. Unfortunately, you're just a little out of reach. I think that's specifically why there's that little slope there, just to make sure that it also helps when you jump correctly, but um you're just a little short. Can't quite make that jump. Now you can also roll and do that, and I used to do that, but sometimes it's a little less reliable. I don't know. Again, a lot of this comes from personal experience for me, so take it with a grain of salt on best practices on how to do this. All right. I think the easier way is going over this way using. Be careful, Laura won't recognize fall away tiles when walking, so you do have to be kind of careful about that. So in that spot, the easiest solution is to just get a running jump, and you should be able to just reach it, assuming you aren't a klutz like me and fall off because tank controls. So I don't believe there's anything of value in this particular room. At least not that I can tell. Because unfortunately with the PS1 graphics, it does kind of make things difficult to like see like certain items. Especially like Uzi clips and stuff. So obviously the we obviously start off with the pistols, and there's no ammo limit to it. It's not like Resident Evil where everything has an ammo limit. So you'll have unlimited ammo for your pistols the entire game. But later on, you will, or you can, obviously you don't have to, you can find other weapons, such as the shotgun, the magnums, and the pistol, or not the pistol, the Uzis. And all fun weapons in their own right, and all very useful in certain situations. The only problem is the rest of them all have ammo, separate ammo that you have to kind of manage. Do you want to use a lot of Magnum rounds uh, in order to make this part of the game easier, but then risk maybe not having enough for later on in the game? It's up to the player, obviously, and it's up to you. I tend to conserve because if there's something that I think I can get away with just using my pistols for, then I probably will. So these swinging axes, I think these aren't ripped out of Ocarina of Time, but like Ocarina of Time probably ripped them out of here. Because I think that game did come after this one, if I remember correctly. Uh, those can do a lot of damage if you're not careful. All right, so you heard that roar. So there's obviously a beast nearby. And where is that beast, you might ask? Well, he's down there, which is where we kind of need to go. Can't get you from up here, but it's really hard to get to him. Because he does tend to run around underneath you rather than on the opposite side, which, smart tactic. I'm trying to get Laura to look at him. I'd like to do at least a little bit of damage before I actually go down there and hurt him or like kill him, because bears don't have a whole lot of health at this stage in the game. No enemy really has that much health. It only takes, you know, 5 or so shots to kill these things. But they can still do some damage to you if you're not careful, if you give him the chance. Yeah, nice. Alright, so you don't want to go in there just yet. There is one other thing. Laura, put the guns away. Thank you. We can go ahead and place the idol in here. And that's the way out, but we don't want to head there just yet, because there is one more thing that we need to do. So in here... there is another switch. as well as some goodies, I believe. Or at least the Switch leads you to goodies. Oh, it also, the Switch turns off those if for whatever reason you want to backtrack, but that's not really necessary. So back here, yeah, that sound always tells you that you found a secret. In other Tomb Raider games, like specifically like Tomb Raider 2 and 3 and so on, um, instead of like having just all ammo drops and health drops, there are some actual secrets like artifacts that you can find, which yeah, that's nice. I mean, it does give you something else to kind of look for besides just ammo and health, which is fine. But it's interesting at the very least. But anyways, so thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.